I've never had Charles on the program, of course, a fellow Quebecois, and I thought, you know what, 2 in a row, great guillotine win over Lando Venata. It's time we have Charles Jourdain on the program, so let's kick things off today with the aforementioned Charles Jourdain, who joins us via the magic of Scoop. Charles, ça va, mon ami? Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien. Thank you for having me, man. It took a while, but yeah, now it's my first 2 wins in a row, and it was a very good win against Venata. So thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, c'est avec grand plaisir, as they say. And yes, we were talking, and I was a little slow. It was a little complicated time in my life, but here I am, and very happy to have you. And thank you for coming on, and congratulations on the win. We have a lot to talk to you about. But could I ask you, first 2-fight winning streak in the UFC, and you've been in the UFC for several years. What's been the difference now? Why are you looking so good as of late?
Just getting finished by Erosa. Like Erosa stepped in last minute. I was supposed to fight Lerone Murphy, which is a very different guy than Erosa, and then Erosa steps in and finishing me, and I was like, oh shit! Like it just changed something in my head. Being finished is something I never experienced. Like I got out wrestled all of my losses, if you like. So no, that was something that hit me very hard in the heart and mind, and then I just doubled up my work ethic. Everything just starting to feel more better at the gym, better everything. Like I was just pushing myself to limits I'd never been into. So this defeat really lit a fire under my ass. Like if you want to be in the UFC, you cannot get finished like that by people. So yeah, it lit a fire under my ass getting finished by Erosa.
You were embarrassed?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I liked though about Erosa, which I think a lot of people sleep on him, is he's a very good finisher. He's a very tall guy for 145, and he's a guy who has tons of experience. I think he has like 36 pro fights. So this is something to take into consideration. So hats off to him. And but yeah, I felt humiliated, but hey, it made me a better athlete, better man, and here I am today.
For sure. And did you change things, like other than obviously working harder, pushing yourself more, did you do any other drastic changes, or that was it? And I'm not saying that was it by diminishing it, but just, sometimes people make massive drastic changes. They change the people around them when they feel this way. Did you do that as well?
It was mostly how we sparred. Like, let's say we would do sparring. It would be, 3 rounds of 5 with 3 different guys, but it's not mimicking properly like a fight, because the guy will get tired eventually. Or if like I say for the first round, I've been chopping the guy's leg, and then I get a new guy, this guy's leg is working perfectly fine. So the damage that I introduced during that sparring is not accumulating enough. So yeah, we changed that towards sparring. Towards wrestling, I got David Zimmerman, former Olympian, teaching me. He's actually the one who helped George get his wrestling ability in the UFC. So George was a very good friend of my coach Fabio. Met him. He actually was there with me for my previous fight against Andre Ewell. And no, man, this guy, I've been changing my game a whole lot. So now I've been implementing a lot of wrestling. It's so intense, so good. Of course, my wrestling will never get to the point of these UFC guys that are mostly American, who've been wrestling for like 5-year-olds to 20 or something. But I'm getting a lot more understanding of these wrestling exchange. And that's what gave me the victory against Venata. Just the knowledge of it. And yeah, it helped me a lot.
I'm always so interested, especially people from Montreal, like how you got into MMA, what made you fall in love with the sport and gave you the idea to do this. How did you fall in love with the sport?
So basically, I was just curious about it. Like most of the young men I know, like they're just curious and they want to go into a gym. My father brought me to a gym with me and my younger brother. And then the guy was like, oh, you guys are pretty good. You guys want to do a fight? It was like after 6 months of training. So we went to a place called Pro Star on the South Shore of Montreal. And we had a fight. And Brendan Tatch was there. I don't know if you remember Brendan Tatch. Very big guy, the big mohawk, red hair. And he came to me after I won. I won by triangle choke in the third round. And like, oh, you kids are good. Keep it up. You might end up in the UFC. And just started like that. And I was like, wow. And ever since I started, like, it was just for fun. And still to this day, I'm having a blast. And I remember the first time I was in Thailand, I fought Thai guy, and I knocked him out, and they pay me $40 for the fight. And I was like, you're kidding me. I can get paid plus doing something because I was fighting as an amateur. An amateur, you don't make 1 cent. So I got paid $40, and that was the second spark that said, okay, I want to do that until I can't no more. So yeah, that's where it all started.
And when you saw Brandon, what year is this?
Oh my God, it was my first amateur fight. Would be 2015, I think.
Okay, so not too long ago.
No, not that much. I'm not a big veteran, you know. I've been around. I have good experience and everything, but no, it's not that long ago. Probably 2014, maybe maximum. But yeah, around those years.
So those early days when the UFC would come to the Bell Center, did you ever go to any of those fights? No.
I never did.
GSP, Diaz, Condit, Koscheck, none of that.
No, I didn't have any money. All my money was put on the training because I was paying my gym membership, and I had a little job at the Pita Saha place, and I was cleaning the stuff. And every money I have, I would put it on shin pads, gear, stuff like that. And no, I never got, because when I was introduced, the first event I saw live that my father brought me was BJ Penn against Nick Diaz. It was supposed to be George, but George blew out his ACL. I think it was UFC 137.
Yep.
So yeah, and after that, I just fell in love. And then it was UFC 142. I remember it was in my heart. It was Jose Aldo against Chad Mendes. Yeah, the second one, who got him with a knee, run into the crowd, this and that. And I remember Jose Aldo entering on the Run This Town, the song from Rihanna and Jay-Z, and I had chills. I was shaking, and I was like, okay, one day I want to live that. So yeah, that was a crazy moment for me. So I've been a big fan of UFC, like watching all the events from probably 137 to 200. Then after that, it became like more of a job, more and everything. So when I had my weekends, I wanted to step away from the sport. So I started listening less and less. I'm still listening to great events, but I'm not as crazy fan as I was. From 137 to 200, that's where I started to slow down.
That's interesting. So you're not going to watch every single one because you need a bit of a mental break on the weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to spend time with my girl, and like I've been to the gym all week. So yeah, in the weekend I like to stay. But there's a lot of fights that I want to watch, of course. I would actually rewatch them like Sunday morning on Fight Pass or other platforms, and yeah. So I'm not staying up until midnight to watch every single part.
I don't blame you. Do you ever cross paths with George when you were coming up?
Never.
Really?
No, never. I saw him at the gym once. I was going to TriStar to practice Muay Thai with one of my coaches. And I was never like attracted to TriStar or whatever, but this coach was very good. His name was Phil, Muay Thai coach. And I was taking a bus and a metro. It would take me like an hour and 45 minutes to get to TriStar, pay the coach, pay the transportation, then come back. And it was very good. And one day I remember I was putting my hand wrap, and I felt like a big aura behind me. And I was like, what is that? Then I turned around, and it was George, and he's like, hey. And then he got into the octagon, and it was one of the few times I saw George. And he entered the octagon, and I was just mind blown by the athlete he was, his energy, his aura. Like he's something else, man. It was a very great experience to see him like that. But I never had any conversation or exchange with the man. And the reason behind that is, if you guys listen to George's interview, like he loved fighting, he loved all of it, but now he's somewhere else in his life. I think he said he never wanted to corner someone else again in the UFC after he cornered Nasrat or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong on the exact word that he said, but I feel that he's detaching himself from, he's not a coach. He loves teaching his class, but he's not someone who wants the burden of you becoming the next big thing or this and that. Like people try to push this thing on Olivier Aubin-Mercier, that George is your mentor, George is your this, George. It was mostly his training partner, and they were helping each other. But I don't think George wants to be the mentor of anybody, and I respect that truly. Like I wouldn't send him a message, hey, I'm from Montreal as well, please teach me. No, I won't do that. I respect the fact that he did everything he did for the sport, and now he wants to step away, and I'm not gonna make it about myself. He's the GOAT. He inspired so many of us, and he needs his time.
I like that. I respect that very much. By the way, when you went to TriStar, did you stop at the julep on the way home? Did you go?
The what?
The orange julep, you know? Yeah. You didn't go to it?
I didn't.
Come on.
No,
You've never been to the julep?
Yeah, but I remember going there. I was too broke. I was paying transportations, this and that, paying the coach. So yeah, I was too broke. But yeah, of course, I already.
You've
It's
been, right? It's fantastic.
of course,
I love it.
of course,
Every time I
good
go
food.
back home, I have to go to the julep to get the poutine, get the drink. George is the only person I know that gets the spaghetti with meatballs. I've never met anyone on this planet that gets spaghetti with meatballs from the julep. But I respect George for his opinions and whatnot.
Of course,
And obviously, you came up through TKO, and you had a
yes.
great run there. Could I ask you?
Yeah.
I was talking a little bit about this with Olivier as well, and he actually opened my eyes. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. The Quebec MMA scene used to be so hot and developed such great fighters. What the hell has happened to the Quebec MMA scene? Why does it seem like there's nothing going on right now?
It would be weird, but it's gonna be weird. But I would blame boxing because boxing has been like back then when there was only newspaper, they would put all these great champions, all these great guys doing great things. And now with social media and phones, you can see that the guys they were fighting weren't that great. But when you see it on the newspaper, it feels great. Oh, this Mexican guy is super dangerous. But now you can just with your phone go on YouTube, watch the guy fight, and you're like, man, like they were building paper champ a lot in Quebec. And now the more and more with social media, we can see that people lost interest into the fighting scene because the lack of proper fights. And Quebec is a small scene as well. Guy from Quebec don't want to fight each other. The reason I got to do the UFC as 2 years as a pro is because I fought all the guys from here, all the top guys. And I was like, people were like, oh no, but he's Quebecois, I don't want to fight him. Like, what's this mentality?
Right.
Like, this is stupid to me. Like me, if there's another Canadian that wants to join the UFC, I'm going to fight him because we're fighting to be the top guys of Canada. It's not, oh, he's Canadian, I don't want to fight him. He's my friend, I already trained with him. I don't care. I could train with you last week and then next week we're going to fight. I really don't mind that because we're all competing to be in the UFC. So what I meant by boxing scene is boxing is bringing all those people from all around the world with like 0-3, 0-4 to make your guy look great. But this is completely stupid. People lost interest into going out and actually seeing the fight because you're going out to see a athletic performance more than a fight. A fight, there's resistance to it, and there was no resistance into those shows. And then when TKO was brought back, Stéphane Patry was amazing because he didn't want none of that shit. He was making guys fight each other. Like, I don't care if you already trained with him. I don't care if you're his friend. This is the fight. If you want to go up the rankings, you need to fight this guy. So Stéphane has this approach like it was an all-out war in Quebec, and that brought animosity, and all the TKO shows were full of people. That was good because there was a lot of maybe he's going to lose, maybe he's going to win. And there was no, like, he was not a promoter that would get a Mexican who's 0-17 to fight the local guy. There was no stupidity like that. It was the Lion's Den, and the only one that came out of this den was me, Cyril Gane, and Marc-André Barriault when we got to the UFC. But a lot of very great fighters didn't make it. But that's the way it is, man. Like that was a Lion's Den, and TKO was a very good promotion.
But if you're a young guy in Quebec now, like where do you fight? There is no TKO, right?
Yes, no. So they need to go to Niagara Falls, BTC, and Vancouver. Like they need to move around. It's quite unfortunate. Like my little brother was close as well. Louis was getting good fights, was getting better, and now he needed to wait. The pandemic, this and that. He needed to fight in Abu Dhabi, and so yeah, you need to have plug right now. Quebec scene is very dead right now. And now. There's other promotions that are rising left and right, but they're going to get like boxing. They're going to go get this guy from this country who has nothing to do in this. Like one thing I don't understand is how can you pay your fighters so much, like so less money, but you can pay a $2,000 tickets to this guy for him to come just to get beat up.
Right.
This is super stupid to me. Like pay more your guys and make animosity. Like make the guy from South Shore again, the guys from East Montreal, like this, that's where the animosity was built. Oh, they don't want to do it. They all train together, or they all say, no, I train at TriStars one time a week, so he's my friend. I don't want to fight him. Hear that? I'm like, you guys are never going to make it to the big league. Like you're not willing to put sacrifice. I don't care if he's your friend. He's like, okay, you've been training with the guys for 10 years. I understand that would be dumb, but a guy you see at the gym sometime and you roll with in jiu-jitsu, doesn't matter, dude. He wants to be where you want to be. So it's a competition. But hey, That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, that's how I feel about it.
It's funny, while we're talking, I just actually got a press release from a new promotion in Brossard called Fight Night in Brossard. So maybe it's starting to come up. I hope for everyone
Yeah.
involved that there are more opportunities. You wanted to actually be a policeman before you got into MMA, right? Do you still want to do that
Oh,
when you're done?
no, no,
Oh,
no. That was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. I did the tests and I was accepted and everything. But then after that, I had money compiled from working around. And my coach told me, "You want to go to Thailand?" I was like, "Okay, go." And as soon as I got that spark of you give me $40, which is nothing to
yeah.
fight, but for me, it was just a gesture of doing the thing I love the most as a young man. Plus, I'm getting paid. That was just life changing for me. So yeah, I don't have no plans about police stuff now.
The nickname is great because of your last name, Air Jourdain, Air Jordan. Who gave you that?
I won my debut by flying knee, and I jumped and knocked the guy out pretty badly. And one guy said, "Oh, it's Air Jourdain." I was like, "Okay, we'll follow with it." I know it's a ripoff, and I cannot make shirt about it because Nike's gonna get on my ass. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's fun. Cool name, and it's like I prefer a name that the crowd give you than the guy who like. The black pirate of the Red Sea, or like
Right.
guys who come up with their own nickname. I'm like, nah, I prefer the crowd. They give you something and you're like, okay, I'll roll with it.
What is up with the pirate stuff though? Because even like with me texting you, you always put the pirate emoji. What is up with that?
Is because the more I get experience as a fighter, and after the loss and after the wins, I realize that I'm not attached to anything. I'm more of someone who takes his boat and live his life the way he wants to live it. I'm not again never getting to other people business. I'm never like putting my nose everywhere. I just take my boat, go to a place, fight a guy, get the gold, and then come back. So that's why the whole piraterie thing came about. This is
Ah,
something and I'm more free-minded with this mindset. Yeah, I feel very good now that I think like that. I'm not into anybody's business, drama, this and that. I take my boat, I do my thing. People are like, "Oh, are you Quebecois or are you Canadian?" I'm like, "I'm both, man. Like, just stop trying to
yes.
divide us, say stupidity like that." And yeah, I'm not getting into drama. I don't like drama.
This neck tattoo that you have, is that an old man's face? What is going on over there? Who is that?
Yeah. So basically, it's Odin. And Odin, the point of it is Odin sacrificed his eye for wisdom, and I feel like us as fighters, we're sacrificing our health, and it's something that we're not going to do forever. So if you're not uh, placing your checkers right, your after career can be very very bad. So I need to accumulate wisdom fast, but I'm sacrificing my health and I'm sacrificing time with a lot of people that I like. But yeah, it's just about sacrificing important things for the love of my life, which is MMA right now. So yeah, sacrifice and yeah, that's it. Sacrifice.
How many tattoos do you have?
Many, many. Do I regret some? No, I don't regret, but they're like scars to me. Like I'm like, why did I thought about doing that? Like I got a Thai tattoo that says "young man ready to fight for his dream." Something so cheesy on my abs, and I'm like, wow, man, why did I do that? But I was like 18 in Thailand, so yeah, they're more. My tattoos are less representative now. Because they meant something to me when I did them. But because of the fact that I'm always advancing as a human and advancing as an athlete, they means less and less because I'm to the next chapter or to the other island already. So I don't regret them, but I'm like, at one point they meant something to me. Now they don't. They're just decoration.
So after the win on Saturday over Venata, very impressive victory. You called out Edson Barbosa, which made some headlines, like the call out. But actually, I thought maybe you would call out Ilia Topuria because you guys were supposed to fight in January. You take the fight on short notice. You show up. You make weight. They didn't let you go on the scale, but we
Yes.
take your word for it. He could not make weight. He didn't show up to the
Yes.
scale. How
Uh-huh.
frustrating was that for you? I think you took it on 9 days' notice, right, against this undefeated prospect, and you
Yes.
made the weight and he didn't.
Yeah. So what happened is I woke up and my phone was blowing up and everybody was telling me, oh, he passed out, nah, nah, nah. And then I called my manager and he was like, okay, we don't know yet. Like it's only the UFC guys that told him you're not gonna make it, but the officials of the
Mission.
what's it called, commission. Thank you very much. They said they haven't seen Julia yet, so he was like, okay, start cutting your weight. So I got down to 146. I was so stressed because me, it's like yes or no. Just tell me, like yes, you're fighting, not fighting. I was like, you know what? I came here. I'm a professional. I'll do the weight. I got down to 146. And then my manager told me, no, he passed out. He was shaking, convulsing. So the fight is off. After that, I was not that frustrated because it's something that's out of my control. And I understand that he has health issues. And that was, unfortunate. And I cannot change anything. But I was compensated very well by the UFC. And we went to California, did our thing, did the weight. He hasn't presented himself. The reason why I would prefer fighting Edson Barbosa is I know that Ilya went to 155 and I know he had a thing with Paddy the Baddy, and I don't have the leverage to call you out right now. And just like I don't have much leverage to call out Edson Barbosa as well, but I think it would make more sense because I'm a striker. The reason why I finished Lendo with the guillotine is because I dropped him. People think it was a takedown or whatever. No, I dropped him. Then I went for the finish. But Edson and me would make a tremendous fight. There's Shane Burgos as well. Like I want those dangerous guys who hit hard and wants to go to war. That's why I was so anxious about that fight with Lendo Vanada. I expected to go very differently than it did. But I have great jiu-jitsu ability and I proved that. So so that was the point why I would prefer Shane Burgos, Edson Barbosa over like Ilya. I think Ilya is going to do his thing. Probably stay at 155 to call out Paddy the Baddy and everything. So, I respect that. He's on a mission. And, just like I was calling for Cub Swanson to a certain degree, and now he wants to fight Uriah Faber. It's like who am I to call these two in Cub, the veteran who paid his dues and he wants to fight his retirement fight with Faber. Like, I'm not going to mess around with that. I respect that to an incredible degree. So, that's why I just suggested that me and Edson would make a proper fight.
You're very polite because I feel like most people would say, no, I want to, kill off this veteran. I want to retire this guy. And it seems like you have enough respect for them or a lot of respect for them where you say, listen, you're a legend, you're an OG, do your thing and I'll have my time. I'll work my way up. You don't hear a lot of people saying that. So I give you a lot of credit.
I appreciate it because I grew up watching these guys. I grew up watching Cub. I grew up watching Edson as well. Like the 142 card that we were talking about, that's where he knocked out Terry Edson with the spitting. So I had, it was first thing that we ever saw and we were like shaking when it happened. So knowing that I could test myself against these hard battle-tested veterans who fought world champions over and over, that means the world to me. But hey, it's in the field now, and we'll see how my manager and Sean Shelby and all the guys want to play that out.
You think you'll get Edson? Do you feel confident now a few days later?
I think so. I think so because, I think he had a little bit of problem with grapplers, and it's good for, like, a win for me is tremendous, and a win for him is tremendous as well. I know I don't have a big name, but like, Edson we can do a proper battle, or we can score one of these big knockouts or whatever. Like there's so much possibility that are so intriguing to so many people. As soon as the call out was done, like I was coming back to the airport and people were stopping me. You're a crazy man. Why would you do that? This and that, and taking picture and telling me that Edson is going to destroy me and this and that. And I'm like, I like that. This is what excites me, knowing that there's so much there's such a big dangerous aspect behind it that I love it. Like, I haven't fought the guy and my leg already hurts, so I cannot wait to.
And there's been some rumors of maybe a return to Canada this year. I know maybe not Quebec, but maybe Ontario. That would be great for you, right?
Yeah, because right now Quebec, like we still have masks. The pandemic is like still going on. It's stupid to my opinion. Like it's crazy for me to go to Vegas, like no mask. Everybody's like talking and everything. Then we come back here. Borders in Canada are completely insane. They take your scanned face. They're like, it's incredible. But hey, I don't mind. I came back to my country and now I'm at home. I'm good. But so yeah, Toronto would make more sense. But from the dates that I've heard, the dates aren't probably the one that I'm interested in. more than the one in France. And in France, it would be a great for me, great career stunt for me because I speak French. Can go over there, talk with the guys. I can train at MMA Factory because I know Cyril Gane quite well, and I fought is a guy for this belt, actually the 155 belt. I fought Damien Lapillus. So yeah, and their coach Fernand Lopez is a super nice guy. So yeah, it would be a good Quebec-France connection right there. So that would be something that would interest me.
Well, congratulations on your success, my friend. Again, I'm sorry it has taken me a while to have you on the show, but
because my stock was down. You cannot invite someone to win, lose, draw. Like you need guys who have names. You need guys who work hard. And now I'm changing my career around, and I'm very grateful that you wait for me to become the man that I am today to have this conversation with you. So you don't have to apologize for anything. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your time, sir.
Same here, and we'll have you on very soon. Congrats, enjoy the victory, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, there he is.